A concerned mother sat with her C-average, underachieving 15-year-old son. He was mediocre in academics, and he abhorred any kind of physical work. He was so lazy that he would even pay his friends and siblings to do his chores. Unlike his sibling, he refused to do any work to make extra money. Due to his laziness, his hard-working father would often chase him through the house to go and work with the women. His father was a master mechanic and a military man, so you can imagine how frustrating the situation was. His mother advised him to take up home economics in school, to learn how to cook and sew for himself, because such a soft and lazy boy would never attract women. He was a hopeless young chap. He faced the same question that we all face at some point in our lives. Who am I? What's this life for? What am I good for? What do I do with my life? What can I do? What is my gift? What is my purpose? If you answer these questions within your lifetime, you will live a life that is satisfying beyond your wildest dreams. The young man we spoke of above was eventually able to answer those questions. He grew up to be one of the most recognized names and figures in history. Although he was lazy and uninterested when it came to most areas of life, there was that one thing that brought him to life. When he did that one thing, he seemed to have unlimited power and energy. That lazy boy was Michael Jordan, and that one thing was basketball. Press your buttons. If someone puts a contraption in your hand, the best way to figure out how it works is to ask them. The next best way is to start pressing its buttons to see what happens. Life is about exploration. It's about exploring your surroundings and exploring yourself. Tiger Woods' father would have never known his son was good at golf if he hadn't explored it. Especially in early life, exploration is of utmost importance. The buttons on a thing cause it to react in a certain way. When you push a button on a stove, it creates fire. When you press a button on a CD player, it makes music. So where are your buttons, and how are they pressed? In our Michael Jordan story, we see that Michael as a boy was like the walking dead. He seemed to be lazy, useless, and disinterested. But place him on a basketball court, and he came to life. You see, his parents were just pressing his play button and trying to get him to react. It didn't work. But when he was plugged into the right power outlet, he came alive. His power outlet was basketball. Are you plugged in? Have you found your power outlet, or are you still connected to the wrong place, just going through the motions like the walking dead? It's not too late. It's time to get out of that cubicle, find your power source, plug in, press play, and become alive. So again, the question is, how do you find your buttons? What are your buttons? Your buttons are your emotions. Your emotional reactions are the reactions to your buttons being pressed. Look at the word emotion. It is what moves you. Emotion is from the Latin word emovere, e from the variant of ex, which means out, and movere, which means to move. Therefore, by examining your emotions, you can find out what makes you move and thus find purpose. As human beings, we have many emotions. Many thinkers, including Aristotle and Robert Plutchik, have come up with varying lists of emotions. All emotions are a guide to your purpose, but for illustrative purposes, we will list some of the core emotions. Happiness. Whatever makes you happy is the thing you were born to do. That one thing that you would do even if you're not being paid to do it. Whenever you are doing that thing, your happy button is pressed. Anger. Whatever makes you angry, you were sent here to fight. Sadness. Whatever makes you sad, you were born to change. These are 3 of your emotional buttons. Your buttons are a clear indicator of your purpose. Take Moses, for example. Seeing a Hebrew being abused by an Egyptian made him so angry that it drove him to kill. Seeing this pushed his button because it was his purpose to free the children of Israel from the vicious treatment of the Egyptians. When Jesus was informed that his friend Lazarus had died, he wept. The interesting thing about this is that Jesus knew that he was about to go and raise Lazarus from the dead, yet he wept. Persons observing thought that Jesus was weeping because of his love for Lazarus. However, the truth is that Jesus' emotional button was pressed because death is what he came to this world to change. When your buttons are pressed, you come alive. You are able to work tirelessly. You have power beyond your regular abilities. Stories have been told of miraculous things happening when buttons are pushed, of impossible feats being accomplished, of a mother who could lift a 2,000-pound car that fell on her son, a blind and deaf girl named Helen Keller who earned a bachelor's degree and became a great author, of oppressed people rising up to overthrow dictators, of a man with no legs competing in the Olympic 100-meter dash. When buttons are pushed, oppressive and unjust laws are changed, slaves are freed, and change is delivered. When buttons are pushed, cures are discovered, bridges are built, and walls are torn down. Get out there and find the place you were meant to be, plug in, and power up. Find the things that push your buttons and tear down some walls.